Yo.
What up?
Good.
Y'all doing?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Doing good. Hey, do I sound better this time?
Yeah, who
What?
that?
I said, do it sound better? I don't sound like a robot, do I?
No, you good now.
Last stream was horrible, man. I went back and watched it. I was so disappointed.
Yeah, I heard it too.
Disappointed, man.
It's because you had your earphones in, right?
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Kind of fucked the whole video up, but we gonna get it right this time, though. But I want to start by thanking everybody that's tuning in. We've been getting a lot of views on YouTube and a lot of views on Facebook, so I want to thank everybody. Dante, you cool, bro. You good in your car if you want to leave your camera on. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. We're gonna touch on a lot of good topics today, as always. So, and I want to appreciate y'all as always too. So, have a good show, boy. How's your day, Brad?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
It was good, man. You saying I was on live all day, cleaning kennels.
Yeah, I see. You busy all day. I see you.
Giving dogs baths, cleaning kennels and shit. I called off work this morning, so I figured I'd take care of the house while I'm here.
Yeah, I actually been working with a buddy of mine for the last couple of days, so
Yeah, I'm good.
I had to do that late night hustle last night, changing all the stuff out for the girls.
Yeah, I seen. But yeah, remove it. Okay. What about you, Dante? How's your day, Rick?
Man, my day still going, but it been going left.
That's good, man. That's good. I see you still working. They ain't let you off. I hear you.
Hold on, you can hear me, right?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay. I just make sure.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Try to make this time today.
Dante, I see you looking all fresh, bro.
Boy, got a fresh cut, cleaned up.
Yeah.
Dante ain't got his AirPods in, so he can't hear it. But
Dante, I see you looking fresh, bro.
You got that clean cut, bro? Your voice went up.
We can't hear you.
You probably got to switch over to your AirPods mic on the screen.
I done clicked what's name by mistake.
There you go.
There we go.
Brad, we're talking about your fresh cut, bro. Hey, we got 3 viewers right now. If y'all got any questions y'all want to leave in the comments, tap in, let us know where y'all watching from. Just let us know y'all here. Put y'all comments across the screen. I appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you.
But we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna start with this. Since we was on this topic, me and Brad was doing this all night. I'm pretty sure Dante is always on this too. So we're gonna start. How often should you clean your dog's living area? And I'm gonna let you start with that, Dante.
You most definitely. You know that background music in the back.
That's the elevator music, don't you know, bro?
That's right.
I was jamming it for about 5-10 minutes before we came on.
There we go.
I almost put a lighter up. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. Everybody set the mood in here, bro.
Nah, it's cool. But you definitely should be cleaning your kennels every day. If you're gonna be doing it, that's one thing that you gotta know. Like, even if you got a big yard, you should be picking up poop in your yard every day. You know what I'm saying? You don't want your dogs eating on other dogs' poop. You don't want your dogs doing none of that nature. You don't want to walk outside, step in poop. You don't want people coming over your house to view your yard, and then they got to step in poop or smell poop. A trick I like to use is lime. You know what I'm saying, to keep the smell down. So I buy lime and that it keeps the acidic smell of the pee from smelling really bad. So and the poop. So I like to use lime in my kennels to keep them clean. But I pick up poop every day. You know what I'm saying? I try to pick up poop at least 3 times a day.
Sir. What about you, Brad?
I say at least once a week, at the very least. I most of my dogs are all kennel trained. They got kennels in the house. I clean theirs, every other day. But like my dogs outside that actually stay outside, I clean theirs at least once a week. Because like Dante said, you don't want people stepping in poop, or you stepping in poop, or your dog stepping in poop, or whatnot. I like to use that Gojo soap because it has that citrusy kind of smell to it. And when I wash the inside of the kennel out and stuff, it kind of keeps flies and stuff away because they don't like the citrusy smell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I agree with both of y'all. I'm like Dante. I pick up shit every day. I do a deep cleaning once a week. So I go in there, pick up all the wood chips off the ground, um, power wash everything out. Well, get the dog a bath and then power wash everything out. Uh, that way, it's like Dante said, the pee will build up, the shit that's underneath the hay will build up. You will start smelling that when they get bad, but you shouldn't wait till it get bad to start feeling it. It might be a week where the dogs did a good job, they ain't pissed, they ain't shit in the kennel. You still need to go under there and clean it up. They still bringing that bacteria from outside. They still run outside and shit. So
Yeah.
it do need to be cleaned up on a daily basis. But like I agree with Brad. What Brad said too. I do once a week. I go do a deep clean. So we make sure we get on it.
I had a question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Y'all boys ever heard of wishy wash? Never heard of it?
No.
It's like it's this stuff. It comes in like a little spray bottle. It costs about for the initial one, I think it costs like $160. And they come with these little containers that has like this solution in it. And you spray it all over your yard. It's made for dog kennels and it kills parvo. It sanitizes the area. You can spray it in your dog bowls. And it lasts
Wow.
for a long time. Yeah. So look it up. I think it's WYSHI and then wash. So it's definitely a good, neat, new thing that I think every kennel owner can benefit off of. And
Sure.
you can spray it in your runs, spray it in all your kennels, and it keeps everything sanitized.
I just wrote it down. I'm gonna definitely take it up. How often?
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
How often do y'all give y'all dogs or bathe y'all dog?
Me, I do probably like once a month, just because dogs they're not like cats. They typically like to smell like what they're in. You know what I'm saying? That's why you give a dog a bath, they'll go roll around in the mud. You know what I'm saying? That's in their nature. And so I try to keep it as natural as possible. And I try to do it about once a month.
I'm the same. People think you gotta get a bath every week, or my dogs probably get a bath about once a month. My dogs are inside, so it's not like they muddy. They don't really go places like we're going to walk and shit. They're running the field. They get a little dirt on them, but the dirt ain't gonna kill them. The dirt actually is good for them, that extra bacteria. So I don't really get into giving them a bath once a week or make them smell good all the time. They dogs, so I let them be dogs. I do give them a bath about once, sometimes twice a month. What's the bread?
Yeah, I pretty much do the once a month deal, unless it's muddy. I have a backyard. My dogs, I switch them out quite often, and I did have grass at one time, but because I have so many dogs, it's all dirt now.
Yeah.
So if it's muddy and they're out there playing all day, and I know it's not going to rain the next day, I'll bring them in and give them a bath, and that'll be their bath. You know what I'm saying? Until at least a month, or if it's raining and they're all muddy again. Because like you said, Mike, my dogs are inside of my house though. You know what I'm saying? They go in their kennels, and so I can't have with my kid, I can't have mud tracked all over my house and whatnot. But my puppies, when I have puppies, I bathe them at least once a week, if if not twice, because they're in there stepping and pooping stuff. You know what I'm saying? Playing with each other, and I don't want them looking all grungy and nasty and stuff. So
Yeah, that's a whole different ball game. The puppies, they got to get back a lot more often.
yeah,
They nasty as hell. They'll do whatever. You can't shit there and look on each other and go around and make food. So I definitely agree. Puppies do get back a lot more often. Um, you said you got mud in your back. Your back. I got the same situation I had when I moved to this house. Man, it was all green back there. The winter came. The dogs wore that shit out. It's all gone now. The way I'm about to solve that is I'm gonna go ahead and get some. Might have like a couple tons of rocks dropped off and spread that across the back, and that actually gonna help a lot of different things. But for the most part, it's gonna make sure they ain't muddy and all that. Then it also helps their feet, build their feet up, be the pasterns and shit. So we gonna have that down probably in the next couple weeks here. So I
you know
recommend.
what I'm thinking about doing? I'm thinking about putting some of that AstroTurf down.
Only thing, so I tell people all the time, like I am gonna have an area with AstroTurf, but that's gonna be where my clients come and see breed their puppies and play with their puppies for the first time and that kind of situation. I won't do it in my whole yard because it holds bacteria and it's gonna hold all that smell. And it's not like grass; it's not just gonna filter through. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't I wouldn't recommend doing the whole yard. I would do like a puppy area where you can put your puppies in there to play. You know it's safe. You know it's kind of grass or nothing there. So
Yeah.
I would do that.
Yeah, so I put down brand new grass. Not even, I mean, I guess now it's been a year ago. So when I got my taxes last season, I put down brand new grass. It didn't even last like 3 months, bro,
Yeah,
with all the dogs running around. So I've
that's
always had grass in the back of my yard, and that's mainly where they go play. But in the front where I laid down the new grass, it's all dirt. So
yeah,
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking of keeping the grass in the back, but up there where that dirt is that turns into just mud when it rains, that's what I was thinking about doing. That AstroTurf stuff up there in the front part,
yeah, definitely.
because that's more where their water bowls, food bowls are, and stuff like that. So they're gonna go up there off. They go up there more to eat and drink, and they play more in the back of the yard is where they all go and run and play in the grass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel
Hey, I'm still getting grainy feedback on my end. I don't know if y'all hear it or not.
lightweight. Let me see. I'm gonna check the live on Facebook and see what it's on right. But,
Yeah.
I'm gonna check the live on Facebook. It sound good there.
All right, say less.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get to the next one then. If you could build your perfect bully in your eyes, what would that look like? Start with you, Brad. Me and Dante,
Uh,
me and Dante can't talk because we got Excel, so we pretty much gonna be saying the same shit.
yeah. No, for sure. I like a dog with a clean top line, big head, short, and just stocky. That would be my idea, and that's what I'm trying to get to. Uh, like I said, I like the big head. That's what I love about bullies is the big old head that they have. So if I can get a big head, good top line, correct feet, and tail, everything looking good, then that's my idea of a perfect bully.
What about you, Dante?
Well, I done told y'all before what I feel like. If we want to compare it to people in the world, I feel like my bullet should look like the LeBron James of the world. And then if I got a female, she look like Serena Williams of the world. That means nice thighs, nice everything, chiseled, good chest, nice head, good rear. Like Brad said, good top line, a good gait. A lot of folks don't really pay attention to their dog's gait and the direction that it goes in when they walk. Um, I
Explain,
always try to.
explain that to the younger people that don't know what it means. What that is.
So a gait is it's just how like how when a horse gallops, it's how they gallop. As for a dog, it's how they it's their gait, it's how they gait, it's their walk, the direction in their feet, it's supposed to be so the front feet and the back feet, they're supposed to replace each other along a straight line. You know what I'm saying? So it's supposed to be parallel. And of course, if you have uh, feet issues, you'll see that your dog doesn't have a good gait. Your dog in the back might cowhock a little bit, or if it has easty westy, it's not going to have a consistent gait, especially if they're running. You know what I'm saying? So just having a good gait, meaning paralleling when they're walking and their feet lines up correctly. And the tail, I like a good tapered tail. I don't like a bushy tail all the way to the end. I like a tail that tapers to a point. You know what I'm saying? Like we was talking about on the last live, the feet. I like the cat-like feet. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the webbed feet. I don't like things like that. I like when, like you say, it's cat-like feet, feline type feet. Um, and that's probably about it. And ear placement and eye placement too. I like when they don't, like, some eyes are too round and the placement on their head make them look more like a master. You know what I'm saying? I like when the eye placement is parallel, like I say, it's flat and it matches the head. You know what I'm saying? It's not eye placement that looks crazy or make your dog look cuckoo. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yeah, me and Dante on the same page, man. I like the dog with, to me, that that's my favorite perfect stroll. I call it a stroll because to me it's like a gallop, whatever. It all looks the same. The dog is um, the dog is supposed to look like it's performing every time it walks to me, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for same top line, perfect bite, perfect eye spread. Um, but most important to me is on feet. Like I said before, I want that dog to have little tiny ass feet that look like it can't hold up all that weight. I want that big ass neck on the back. I want that hump on the neck. Um, you say you want your dog to look like LeBron James. I want mine to look like Mike Tyson. I want big, bulky, but I still want that definition on that body. So yeah, I want to create something that is more as closer to the standard, but still got super exaggerated features. So that's the way I want to come in the game.
So if we're gonna compare like that, I'd say Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Short and just built, bro. That's how. You know what I'm saying? That's how I would.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like that bulky, real big muscles, and but not a
Yeah.
lot. I don't like the real cut up shit. Don't get me wrong. It's cool. I can deal with it, but I'm more on the bulk. I like the bulk. Um. Yeah. That's it on that topic. Then. We're gonna get into this one that we was supposed to get into last time. And I know it's gonna take us a while, but we're gonna talk about what's the difference between breed type and breed standard. Um. Dante, I'll let you take over the breed standard, and then I'll talk about the breed type, and then Brad will bring it all together. Um,
Okay.
so I'll start with the breed type. To me, breed type is, well, not to me, breed type is um, the way the dog looks, the way the dog's supposed to look. Like you can go outside, and everybody will see, you will see exotic, you will see a XL, a standard pocket, whatever, and you will know that's a bully. Or some people would say that's a pit. Like the old school, that's an old school on my live this morning, and he said I paid for a $5,000 mini pit. I said $5,000 mini pit, bro. You got robbed.
Right.
But no, he was talking about a micro. So depending on who you are, you pretty much know what that look is. It's gonna be that big head, that smaller frame body, compactness, that bone. That's gonna be our breed type. Um, and I'll let Dante explain what the standard is.
Hold on 1 second, fella. My audio went out. Somebody was calling me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good.
Yeah.
Hold on, because I can't hear y'all. Hold on. Oh, man.
Can't hear us?
Can you hear me now?
He gonna come back in. He gonna back out and come back in. I'll add him back in as soon as he get in. So breed type is more so what you see with your eyes, what you know the dog is supposed to look like. Um, on the breed standard part. I'll let him touch up on it when he come in. But breed standard is gonna be what the standard is running for. It's gonna be everything we just talked about. It's gonna be those tight feet. There you go. You good? Can you hear us? Damn, man, good. Breed standard, he'll get back in here. He'll get on this. But the breed standard is gonna be more what the ABKC wrote for this breed. It's gonna be that perfect top line. It's gonna be that scissor bite. It's gonna be the dimensions on the head, that drop on the head. That's gonna be more breed standard. You can have a lot of dogs that have breed type but don't have a breed standard. You can't hear us? No?
No, I can hear y'all, but it's chopping up. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm finna hop back in one more time.
It sounds clear though. But yeah, breed standard is gonna be more what the ABKC wrote, and it's I can really bring up a picture and show y'all what I mean by. We're gonna get into this today too, the standards and what the dog is expected to look like. But this is gonna be more as far as when we're talking about breeding standards. These are the standards. You're supposed to have that perfect H frame. You're supposed to have that perfect top line. That rear is supposed to be lined up perfectly with the front feet. You're almost not supposed to be able to see them front feet from the back. So that's what we mean by the breed standard versus the breed type. Like as far as as far as breed type would be more so like we know this is American Bully. We know what this dog look like, but as far as type, we can't really. I mean, standard. We can't really judge that because that's more as a judge. Judge is gonna tell you in the ring. That's gonna be what he's looking for is more of the standard. We looking for more of the type and our preferences and our type. Go ahead, Dante. Let's touch on that, bro.
Okay. I don't know where you left off at.
You talk about the breed standard and what's the difference between the standard and the type.
Oh, okay. Well, I know I was supposed to be speaking on the breed standard. Standard to what I believe is kind of like what the pictures you were showing. You know what I'm saying? For every characteristic of the dog, it's supposed to match a certain standard. Whether it's going to be like I was just saying about the feet, whether it's whaled feet or cat-like feet. That's a characteristic within the dog that creates a standard for that dog. How the dog stands, does it have an H frame? The pasterns, the rears, the top lines, how everything's proportional on this dog that basically creates the standard. The characteristics that we're taking that we say, hey, this comes in every dog or should come like this. That's creating the standard. And like you said, with breed type, it's more of like how I like to look at it. When you look at the poodle, you look at the toy poodle, the miniature poodle, and the standard poodle. They all look like poodles, like you were saying, just like with a bully. We got with our breed types, the breed standard changes. So that's the confusion with the bully game right now. People not really understanding that, like you said, just because it's an exotic, a pocket, a standard, or XL, they should all follow within a standard of the dog to create better dogs, to have better health in the dogs, to prolong the blood. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's been confused in this whole grand scheme of things with the bully standard, because like you said, you got people that still think this is a pit bull. So if you got somebody comparing the pit bull standard to a bully, then they're going to be confused in what they're trying to get moving forward. They're going to be confused in what they're trying to breed moving forward because they're comparing the wrong standard to the wrong dog. So you definitely have to do your research on what the standard is supposed to be, and then try to find as much quality to that to bring into your program.
People will see that's like breed type is like people will see an exotic and be like that's a bully, but realistically that's not even a bully. The standard there's no class for exotic, so that's how these little pop up illustrations happen. But that's what breed type would be like. You'll see that dog and you'll think that's what this dog looks like. So like you said, that's the biggest problem in the game. People will see breed type exotic like that's a bully, that's a real bully. But the whole time they don't even know that that's not a real bully. That's not. even classify as a bully at all. So,
But you get to the issue like with the stories. So like how you say, right? If you take an Amstaff and a pit bull, it's a certain mix you're gonna get, right? So to somebody who may look at that dog and think of the standard as what it is, they may can create the standard behind those two dogs. But somebody believing the story a little bit differently may, like I say, may look at Pitts and say, hey, well, I know Pitts can produce this type of dog on this type of level and try to create that. But because in the bully game, we don't have no set standard with anybody because it's really just the top voice. Whoever putting out
Because
the
it's
best
always
dogs.
changing.
That's right, because we don't have it's not set. We got the person who founded the ABKC who founded their own bloodline, and he's basically already set a standard in his head and put out to the world.
Dave Wilson founded ABKC, and he's the founder of Razor's Edge Bloodline.
That's right.
If you got an American bully, more than likely somewhere in that blood, it's gonna be Razor Edge.
And see, that's what I'm saying. But how can we attest? How can we attest to that when there's other bullies that won't match that standard of what's been put out?
So, as far as what Razor Edge wasn't ever really fully developed. Like people took it and developed it to different places. Like when Razor's Edge teamed up with Gotti, that's when the bully became a whole different look because Razor's Edge knew what they was doing. They was doing the staffies in the pit. But Gotti was over there doing shit, bulldog, master, whatever was gonna make that dog be more bully. So people say, even Dave Wilson will tell you nowadays, like the dog has bulldog in it. It's there. There's nothing we can do about it, and it's not ever gonna go nowhere at this point. So now all we got to do is breed to breed standard. We got the mask we want. You got the head you want. You got everything you want. So now make the puppies go out for the first time. You got a question in the comments. We're gonna get to that in 1 second, Booby. I got you, bro. Damn, I just lost what I was at. Where was I at, man? Where was I at? Anyway.
Of course, about the breed standard and the breed type, or where we're finna go.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to that question real quick for him. He said, when can puppies go out for the first time? In my opinion, my puppies won't go out into the public until they got their shots. When you give them their shots, because you're gonna take them out in the yard and you don't know what dog ran through your front yard, you don't know what dog ran through there, or in the past, you don't know what crept up in the grass. Like it could be some parvo back there, you don't know if all the dogs got their shots, so you ain't gonna never see it. So to me, my dog is going outside.
I say 12 weeks because by then they should have all 3 sets of shots for sure. Like mine, they stay on they go on the ground, but it's inside. You know what I'm saying? That's where they eat, and then they go back in the kennel once I get it cleaned and stuff. But other than that, yeah, they don't go outside till at least 12 weeks when they had all 3 sets of shots.
Okay. With the product, I was just telling y'all about that wishy wash. They advise you can have a pup there at newborn. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I probably start about 4 weeks when they start weaning. For me, because it's easier to not get coccidia that way when they're inside. And they're using the bathroom on that plastic and running around in it. It sits there. It bowls up. You know what I'm saying? So basically, like they pee or poop and it's not cleaned up in enough time, and they step in it. It's easier for them to catch worms or, like I say, parasites. So when you're outside, of course, that pee drains through the ground naturally, like it's supposed to. So therefore, they're not walking in it as much. You know what I'm saying? Even when you're coming in to sanitize it, it's still seeping through the ground and it's going below them. So that's why I choose to do it that way.
And it also it depends. Like I just said, when we get finished with our setup in the backyard, we'll have a puppy area where they can go outside and they'll be able to go play in the turf and do whatever I want them to do outside. And I can get some pictures out there. But as far as like putting them in grass that's not treated and not,
Facts.
I mean, I don't have no idea about. I'm not ever going to take them outside until I got shots because I done had the situation. I just had a litter. I took the puppies to the vet, got the puppies they shot, but I also had another litter at the house that hadn't got their shots yet. I made the mistake of putting those puppies that just got their shots in the same area and actually let a couple of them play with the other puppies. Well, you take puppies to the vet, there's almost 100% guarantee there's parvo in that building somewhere. So what I did was I ended up bringing parvo back from the vet, killed the whole litter because I wasn't thinking that far ahead, and to me that was a learning curve. That was something that helped me get to the next level. So because it took me losing a whole litter to understand that even going to the vet and bringing these puppies back is going to be a problem. So yeah, you gotta be real careful with these puppies and be taking them out and exposing them before they got the shots. Especially if you got other litters that ain't got those shots yet. So we're gonna talk about these different classes and what the difference is between them. I'm gonna put this comment on quick so we can show in better. So here we got the standard up right here on the screen, and it's showing you the 4 different classes that we got. If you look all the way on the end, we got Pocket. That's where Brad breeds. Over there at Big Head Kennels. And all the way to the right is Excel, which is what me and Dante breed in Game Changer and Anonymous Kennels. So, Brad, I'm gonna let you speak on the Pocket for a second and talk about where your dogs lack on this picture. So you see this perfect H frame. You see these feet. You see that elbow to chest ratio. You see the spread on that chest. You see that dome, the chisel cheeks. You see that muzzle, and so speak on it and speak on where you can improve at as far as your dogs.
As far as mine, of course, I've said in other lives, I'm working on the high rear for sure. I have a female that does kind of have a high rear, and then I do have another female that has the little bit longer snout than that I like, and so I'm trying my best to, you know, get rid of the high rear by breeding to, dogs with, nice top lines and such, and then of course breeding with dogs with the more shorter snout. I don't like the smushed, of course, that looks horrible to me, but the shorter snout is my style that I'm trying to go for.
Okay. Um, what about that? What about your H frame? How's your dog H frame on all your dogs right now? All your pockets you got in your yard.
I mean, all of them are great. They got great form, and their front legs match up with their back legs. That's my big thing. I don't want one leg looking off, or you know what I'm saying, such. So I like them to be equally proportioned. So if they have that good H frame like they're supposed to, then it should match up with the back, is what I like.
Okay, okay. And Dante, what about you? You want to pick your dogs apart real quick?
Most definitely. Like I told y'all also in prior lives and podcast shows, I had the advantage of, like I said, doing the research before. I kind of bought my dogs and putting my team on to research to buy certain dogs. So a lot of our dogs don't have a lot of flaws, but like I also said, the biggest flaw is high rear. And another thing, it's going to be breeding to the XL side consistently. Making sure that every dog in that litter is going to meet the standard for the XL. You know, I'm gonna be honest and transparent. Prior to 2 3 years ago, I thought to make XL size, I thought XXL was an actual class, and I thought to make XL size was all depending on weight, and that's completely wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's depending on the height of the withers. So knowing that just changed my whole perspective on how to get into breeding a consistent line of XLs, knowing that it's going to be hard to obtain the mass on the length of bones that you have to reach with the XL unless you're doing it consistently with good blood. So that's what I'm looking for to accomplishing basically. Is basically making sure my litters come out. If I say I'm selling XLs, then I want every dog to come out in the litter to be XL. I don't want one or two to be standard or classic or anything like that. If I say I'm breeding XLs, I want to be able to say, hey, this is exactly what it's going to come out to be. So just doing that on a consistent level to make that mark of the 20 or the 19 inches to get to that point. I think it's going to be one of my bigger issues. But as far as the H frames, the feet, I got a dog with well feet. I bred it to a dog with better feet, of course, to see the mix of that. I got a dog with a high rear that hasn't been bred, that probably won't get bred. As far as any other thing, like of course you want to breed for head size. That's not really a standard, but of course that's something I'm looking to do with the program is consistently produce a nice size head or proportion head to where it's on that dog and just looking massive. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I probably couldn't think of too many other things that falls under that for me.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull up a picture. I'm gonna pick apart a couple of my dogs real quick. So as far as this picture, you can see my boy Buzzo. You can kind of see in this picture he's crossed down, but to me Buzzo has a perfect top line. He's not. It doesn't. You can't really tell in this picture. It kind of looks like a high rear, but it's not at all. He has a perfect top line. He has he kind of got stiff stifles in the back, so we're working on that. We're trying to see if that's something that is a cause of the winter and him being cooped up in the kennel all winter. So we're trying to see if that's the problem. His H frame is great in the front. His feet are real good. He got real good feet. He ain't got perfect feet, not as far as my vision, but his feet are perfect in the front, or good in the front. He lack a little mass as far as shoulders and neck. He got a big head. He's still filling out, so we'll see where he goes there. This is my favorite dog. This is the dog I love to pick apart because she's my favorite. And to me, you got to be able to do that. You got to be able to. If you can pick apart your favorite, you're gonna be able to tear apart your worst. So she's my favorite, so I pick her apart all the time. She has a high rear. It's the slight one. It's not as serious. Again, in this picture, it's just crossed down in the front, so you really can't see it 100%. But she has a slight. Yeah, she has a cow hawk, which if you breed heavy mass dogs, you're gonna get that a lot. So you got to be careful there when you're doing that, and you got to pick your breeding real precisely. She has Easty Westy in the front. I done gave you 3 flaws on this dog already. How the hell is she my favorite? But yeah, she has Easty Westy in the front, so we're trying to work that. That's not something that we're gonna be able to fix. It's a product of her mom and her dad. Her dad was real heavy on the front. Her mom was also real heavy on the front. So of course she's coming real heavy on the front, and it's putting a lot of weight on her passers in the front. So we're not there's not nothing we're gonna be able to do to fix her Easty Westy. Her cow hawk, we working her out a lot right now. We getting her up and down that hill, and we drop her weight on her to try to minimize that. But as far as getting rid of that, is probably not going to happen. I pick that dog up all the time because to me she's my foundation. She got everything I want, but she has flaws that don't scare me that I want to fix. And only way to me to move forward is to be able to see myself fix that generation after generation, and not keep building off that and keep producing the same problem. So I'm definitely in the process of fixing that. And like I said, you can't be kennel blind with these dogs. You gotta be able to pick apart your favorite dog. But your favorite dog in the yard, that's the one that got to get picked the most. I got a dog that's in my yard that's perfect. I didn't show her because she's perfect. I don't have to show her. There's nothing to brag about. She cleans up everything. So with me having that perfect dog, and I have a dog that has flaws, when I breed their puppies together, I'm gonna eliminate flaws, and then I'll go back to the drawing board and fix what I gotta fix. Um, I love the mass on this girl. I love her neck. I love her head. The bone she produces and the bone she has. I love that. Um, so there's a lot of things I do love. It's not like she's just a bad dog overall. She just has flaws. And to me, as a breeder, when I see those flaws, I see a challenge. And that's what I look for is a challenge. Not something that. That's why you'll see me. I say I'm not going to no top breeder to buy no dog. I'm not going to the perfect dog. I don't want to go pay $10,000 for a perfect dog. I take a dog that has problems that I can work on, that I can fix, and I can show that I know what I'm doing. Because if I go buy a dog that's already perfect or that doesn't have anything to fix, then all I'm doing is just. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with that because then you're better in the breed. But to me, better in the breed is also going to be going out here and correcting these dogs that are wrong and showing people that you can correct these dogs if you breed the right way and you do selective breed. To me, that's the biggest word that people need to realize is selective breeding. You can't just throw anything together. You can't just pick a dog you like because they got a big name. You got to be real selective in your breeding and and um and build off of what you want to do and produce better than what you already have. Everything I produce is better than what I have. I haven't shown that in a picture either because they're puppies still. So produce better than what you have already. If you're going backwards, if you're producing dogs that have the same flaws, then you're not breeding. You're just letting dogs mate. That's it. You're not breeders. We correct shit. We fix things. We go towards our vision. So to me, that's what I that's what I do. That's what I pick. That's why I like to pick up my dogs. Um, that's why I don't mind breeding to Buzzo because Buzzo cleans up a lot of shit. And my dog, that the dogs I keep saying that's perfect, mulatto, they from the same family. They have the same dad. They just have different moms, and both of their moms is clean and correct. So he's clean, correct, and he's produced clean and correct dogs. And all my clients are posting. If you see me post my puppies all the time, they're turning out real nice. I'm seeing better dogs than what I have currently. So that's that means I'm going in the right direction. I had a question in the comments. My female hasn't picked up weight yet. Any suggestions on how to help her? I got answered. I want to let one of y'all answer this though this time. Yeah, this dude he's talking about he just had a litter and his female just dropped puppies and so let him know what's going on there, Dante. Or Brad, whichever one of y'all. I know Brad.
I'll just say something real quick. What I did with my female, because you know me, I just had puppies not long ago either. I started throwing in some raw, honestly, and that really, I mean, in a matter of a week and a half, her weight was back and her titties was gone.
Hey, so, I mean, real quick, before they touch on this, comment below and let us know at what week did you take your puppies off first?
Yeah, for sure. Ahead,
okay. Well, I thought he was talking about a puppy at first, but we're talking about a female that just had puppies. Typically, I see right after she weans, about a week after the pups have weaned, she start catching weight. If she's not like how Brad says, it's this thing called satin balls. My uncle put me on this a long time ago. If you look up, there's plenty of recipes on satin balls, but it's basically ground beef, molasses, total cereal, wheat germ, and a couple of little other things that pack on protein and fat. And you give it to your female probably like 2 or 3 times a day, depending on how big you make the balls and how much she likes them. But they typically, any dog I've ever seen had them, they love them. But it usually can get the weight back on your dog pretty quickly, and that's SATIN balls, and you can look that up on started to wing 3 days before 4 weeks. Okay, yeah. So right now at the time, like it's going to be a slow progression because she just got off. They just got off her nipples, so you should expect by at least 6 to 8 weeks the regular weight. And like I said, if you want to use the satin balls, there's plenty of recipes on YouTube, Google, and you can use those to pick up weight pretty quick.
Hey, since we're talking about that,
Hold on.
I'd like to throw in there and ask you guys.
Hold on. Wait. Real quick. Let me touch on that real quick because I ain't touched on it.
Okay.
So, in my opinion, I learned something from it. I'm not even going to say the person that told me. I used to wean my dogs about 4.5 weeks off their mom too. I told Brad this, and it worked out for him, and it worked out for me ever since I started doing it.
This is what I was getting at.
Yeah, I started to take my puppies off at 3 weeks. As soon as the 3-week mark hit, no matter what they look like, nothing. Like as soon as that 3-week mark hit, I pulled them off. And to me, what happens is they're sucking on her, they're draining her. She's still producing milk, so she's gonna produce as much as she needs to until they're grown. If she was in the wild, they're gonna feed off of her until they're able to go eat. So they're not in the wild. As a breeder, you got to accept that work. You got to accept that responsibility once you pull them off at 3 weeks, because now it's about to be held for 5 weeks at minimum. Because I keep mine for 12 now, but 8 weeks is the minimum you can let them, or the earliest you can let them go. So you got 5 weeks to feed them, and the first 2 weeks gonna be hell because it's 3 times a day. Is rough. So what happens is they're sucking on her, they're draining her, so she's getting more and more saggy the longer you let them sit on there. So if you pull them off at 3 weeks, you basically her milk is still produced, so her titties are still full. Instead of having that saggy where she's trying to keep up with the puppies and produce milk all the time and producing that sag, and they'll be drained. So what I learned is, and what I noticed is, they turn 5. Oh, okay. She recovers way faster when you pull off at 3 weeks. That milk, you do have to kind of focus on draining that milk because you can't let that milk sit there. So, but she won't reproduce it as fast because she knows that it's being drained, it's not being consumed. Like the puppies will consume it a little bit at a time, and her body will understand that it need to reproduce on their schedule. But if you pull them off and she stops feeding, then you drain. It's not going to reproduce at the same speed. So I noticed that my dogs recover faster. And then the first week that I take them off, so from week 3 and week 4, I'll feed raw and give them a lot of protein and let them try to go back up. But also, protein is not going to bulk them up. You got to make sure you put a whole bunch of fat in your food. So I'll throw in a whole bunch of fat, anything that has a lot of fat in it, chicken fat,
raw beef,
brown beef, yeah, anything with a lot of fat, so they can put weight back on. And then once they put their weight back on, and I notice that weight's coming back, I'll take them and work them off and put them on the field, on long walks, and just to tighten everything back up. So it usually, like Dante said, it usually takes me about 6 to 8 weeks to get them all the way back right, and that's perfect timing because I like to breed back to back. I don't like to skip heat. When you skip in heat, you tearing that uterus up.
Not only that, but your dog's more prone to getting cancer too.
Yeah, you're tearing that uterus up. So the uterus has a thin lining inside, and every time that she goes into heat, she produces something called progesterone, and progesterone just eats at the lining of the uterus. So it's better to breed back to back versus skipping the heat, unless your female hasn't recovered. But if you're doing what we say, your female should recover on time. If you put them off at 3 weeks, your female should recover in time. Only way I wouldn't do it if I had to get a C-section or something, and that hasn't healed up, or which that should too in 6 to 8 weeks. So Dante said I agree with what he said. It's about 6 to 8 weeks. For how would I help her drain faster? You're not really focused on draining her fast. You don't want to drain her fast. The faster you drain, the faster she's gonna reproduce. So you don't want to drain fast. It'll dry up on her. I just mean so like the first couple of days that you pull them off, you'll see milk squirting out her titties because she's still producing at the rate where she thinks they gonna drink her milk. But her body realizes that it's not being consumed, she'll stop producing it. So it's not about draining fast. You don't want to drain her fast. You're not after the first couple of days. You shouldn't drain her at all. I just when they full, you can see like they almost look like they hurt because they'll be squirting out milk. They'll be big and they'll be kind of be hard. So that's when you want to kind of drain, but not you wouldn't do that after day 3 or 4 of her being off.
Yeah, I mean, in my case, my puppies have been off since week 3, of course, and now they're 9 weeks. And if I showed you my female right now, you couldn't even guess that she had puppies. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know, a couple months ago, you wouldn't even be able to notice because she has nothing. Like there's no way to tell.
Yes, sir. I'm glad that worked out for you because honestly, the first time I did it, I was nervous, man. I was like, my puppies was like, they wasn't really taking the food the first couple of days. It was kind of rough, so I was kind of nervous if you was gonna be able to deal with it. I'm glad it.
Yeah, you remember when I was doing pits and I would call you. I was 6 weeks, bro. You was like, no. I was like, all right, taking them off. I'm taking them off.
6 weeks, bro.
Hey, I just listening. I had a situation like that. I had a puppy that was nursing to 12 weeks. So that's what I'm saying. Like dog, like you say, the dog gonna drink that milk as long as they smell it.
Yeah.
And depending on a lot of time it depends on the female. She'll let them drink because sometimes a lot of females they'll feel them teeth on the nipples and like I said, they get hard and start hurting a little bit. The teeth don't make it no better, so she'll start snapping at the pups. And you have to be cautious of that because you don't want her to hurt the pups in the process.
I was man, when I first came in, like I said, I used to be like, I was one of them dudes, man. I was too anxious, like for everything. Honestly, like to take them off the mom, like I was ready to feed them. I was ready to mix up that shit that I don't watch videos on how to feed these dogs, and so I was too anxious, man. I was anxious to deliver the puppies. Like the first puppy I ever delivered, she sitting there pushing and she wouldn't get it out. So my over anxious ass going there, pull the fucking puppy out and pop the sack, everything. Everything was cool. I didn't lose no puppies out there or nothing. But I'm hands on, man. I wanna speed up the process. And you shouldn't rush the shit, but you should do some research and understand that the quicker you pull them off, the quicker she'll recover. The quicker she recovers, the better for her because you can breed her on her next heat and you can get back to back. So that uterus ain't getting ruined. So you have better puppies in the future. You can lose a lot of puppies when that uterus is fucked up. You can have problems having your female take. All kinds of stuff that can go wrong. So I definitely think that helped out a lot. And my female is bounced back and I'm able to breathe when it's time to breathe. And I don't have problems like that. So that comes with experience and that comes with knowing your females and knowing your dogs and understanding how to get them to recover and bounce back.
Right.
We're gonna get to the next question. How many generations does it take to create a bloodline? 5. What'd you say, Dante?
That's a deep question. I feel like that's. I mean, we talking about the bullies, bro. It's gonna take more than 5 generations just because it's not enough consistent blood out there to get the same thing over and over. And with so many visions of what's going on, it go back to the type of breed standard. You know what I'm saying? It's just too many options out there right now. So like I always tell my boy, I said the real way, if we really want to do it, I feel to correct it, we should take 5 to 10 bully programs select the best studs, select the best females. We should breed those dogs, and we should create at least at least 6 generations of just those puppies that match the standard in every way, that everybody in the bully community can agree on. That, like I say, it's the best quality. So in an instance, if it's all the XLs that won grand champion, we're gonna say, all right, let's take all the grand champion XLs from here on out for the next 2 or 3 years. If you have a accredited female or a female that we say should be bred to one of these males, then everybody should be going to them to get their bloodline. Everybody should be going to them to get that puppy, and we should continue forward with this being the standard. And I just don't see that happening anytime soon because of all the visions and everybody having their own way in the game of how they want to do things. But I feel like that's the only way you can get as close to a match. But in the bully game, I still don't think 5 pedigrees enough to say a bloodline because of how you can. Like for me, I didn't understand the production part of it because I didn't understand you can take 2 bot dogs, produce a dog, and just because you bought the female, that's your production.
Yeah.
See, personally, me, I thought it would be if I take 2 bot dogs, I create a pup, I would have to take another pup off of 2 other bot dogs, take those 2 pups, and then what those 2 pups created would be my production.
Your first generation. So you're right. I mean, it depends on what your standards is because I agree. 2 productions that you produced should be your first. That bred together should be your first generation. But to me, anything that I select and I put together is considered my breeding, which is considered my production. So because you may have bought 2 dogs from the same kennel, but who's to say that breeder was gonna put those 2 dogs together and produce what you produce? So no matter how you look at it, you produce it's gonna be your production. Another thing you said, you were saying how we should all breed to the same thing. Only problem I have with that is the blood's gonna get too tight, and that's how you're gonna create That's how you're gonna create bigger problems than what we have now. Which a lot of these problems did stem from that, from blood being too tight. That when blood gets too tight, what happens is it shrinks everything down. So they were breeding staffies and pit bulls, which were taller. The tighter that blood got, you started creating shorter dogs like Paco. Paco was one of the most. He was the first Paco. Like that's one of the most famous dogs. Paco was a product of 2 big dogs. His whole head was bigger dogs, and then they bred tight, and then they created this small dog. So you always gotta have enough blood, which is why the APKC still at their stud books, because you have to have enough blood out there to keep this blood going. So we don't fuck the blood up by breeding too tight. So which is why we still have the classic in our standard, because the classic ain't nothing but a pit bull, honestly. It's just a bully or a pit bull, and we have that so we can go back and clean shit up when we start fucking shit up. To me, it takes between 7 and 10 generations to create a bloodline, and that's not 7 to 10 generations of just breeding 2 dogs together. That's 7 generations of breed this dog, create a puppy, breed this dog, create a puppy, breed those puppies together, breed those puppies together, take one of those puppies, breed it back to that dog, produce that, bring some new blood in, produce. So it's more so you gotta line breed, you gotta inbreed, you gotta outcross. You gotta line breed, inbreed, outcross, line breed. So to me, it's more so when you line breed, you're gonna lock in certain traits. When you inbreed, you're gonna double down on those traits. So when I line breed, to me, I'm bringing in a certain look and I'm creating a look of my own, and that's what I'm gonna stick to. Which is what Bossy did, and Bossy has ran with that shit. Like they got a look of their dogs that's just like it's a show ring dog, and that's all they produce. That's all. that comes out of their tent. Not all bossy blood is being bred the right way.
There you go.
What comes out of their tent. That's what a lot of people get confused. When you say I got bossy blood, this bossy this, but did they produce that? Because if they didn't produce that, it don't mean shit because she selected breeds. She knows what to put together and what not to put together. She knows that she knows how to breed her blood. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people will take that stud to whatever. A lot of people will take that female to a shitty ass stud, and it won't produce the way it's supposed to be. So that's why I always say I don't care what you got in your head. I'm gonna look at that dog. I'm gonna look at that dog first, and then I'm gonna go back to that pig because that pig gonna let me know what I'm gonna bring out from the back. But as far as what's in front of me, I want to know what this looks like. I don't care what studs in your pig. If I see a good ass dog, if I see good dogs in the first 3 generations of that pig, then I'm using it. Other than that, I don't care. What the big name is on that pedigree. But yeah, I think it takes 7 to 10 generations. I think the line breeding and inbreeding is going to be a big factor into creating your own look, creating your own bloodline. Because to me, a line is going to be something that you produce that throws a consistent look of your vision, not necessarily. And to me, if your vision always should be the standard. So if you're breeding towards standard, you're going to breed XL bullies, which at the end of the day, we all of them should look the same. Should have different colors, should have different varieties, but they all should have the same standard. So it takes a lot of different blood to do that. So I do agree we should have the stud book should be closed to bullshit studs, but I do think that we need a lot of this blood to. Because don't get me wrong, there's some bullshit dogs out there, and like I say, I got my favorite dog. I pick her apart all the time. She has 4 flaws that will eliminate her in the show ring. But I'm a breeder. I'm not a shower. I don't breed dogs for show ring right now. Eventually we'll get there. I say 4 or 5 years from now we'll have show ring dogs. But as of right now, I'm a breeder. I'm working on creating something that I'm trying to fix. So show ring is not what I'm really focused on, but I'm breeding towards the standard. And you can take some of these dogs and pull some of these traits and use some of these traits that they have bad traits, but you can put them with a good dog and produce something even better. So I don't think all the bad dogs are necessarily bad. It's the ones with these major flaws and underbites. And if a dog has an underbite, it shouldn't be bred. Like for no reason. There's nothing about that should be bred. If a dog has a kink tail, it shouldn't be bred. That shouldn't be bred. A dog has easty westy, you can correct that. You can correct that in the feet. You can correct that with a dog with real good feet. High rear, you can correct that. Get that perfect top line. Or go back to a classic and clean it up. Like there's a lot of things you can do with minor flaws, but with major flaws, there's nothing you can do. I mean, it's going to take generation after generation. There is something you can always fix, but it's going to take you. To me, that's going too far backwards. It's going to take you 3 generations to fix the underbite. It's going to take you 3 generations to fix king tail, and then you don't even know if it's always fixed because, like I said, the tail is being developed at the same time as the organs are being developed, and just because it's not showing in the tail, don't mean it's not showing in the heart, or it's not showing in a different organ. So, like I said, I wouldn't go that far back and put myself in a hole to fix something that I didn't create. But that's my take on that. Is there anything else I want to throw in there?
I was, like I said, 5. I think between 5 and 7, because by then you should have, to me, your flaws picked out and what your vision is of what you want in a dog. That's why I would say 5, at least 5. But yeah, 5 to 7, like you were saying, 7.
So I mean, I agree with you on the 5. The 5 to me at 5 generations you can start calling this your blood.
Yeah.
Because you know lined up some shit. At that point you should already did line breeding, inbreeding. So you can start calling it your blood. But So as far as a line and have it created a whole bloodline, I think that's gonna be more like 7 to 10 because
Yeah.
it's like 5 generations. You're gonna that's when you at that 5 mark is when you're gonna start seeing your results. You're gonna start seeing your consistent look. You're gonna start seeing litters if you're
What
doing
you
it.
of what you want.
Yeah, you're gonna start seeing that the whole litter is consistent if you're doing everything right at about 5. So, but that doesn't make it a complete bloodline because you're still gonna be you're still gonna have puppies in there that turn out to be something like 4 generations ago, 6 generations ago. So
Yeah.
if you can fill up that pet chart to 7 generations, then I think you heading in the right direction. But it always, like I said, as long as you selective breeding, you gonna clean up a lot of shit. You gonna produce what you look for. But you gotta be real selective in breeding. You can't just shoot for names. You can't just shoot for pet charts, and you can't shoot for. You gotta have a whole goal, not just I want a big head. I
Yeah.
want I want a big rear. Like you gotta have a whole goal. You gotta have
I agree. Because one thing we haven't mentioned, like I said on the last live, uh, I look more into temperament when I bring a dog too. You know what I'm saying? So what if I'm bringing all these dogs that ain't come with a temperament I want? You know what I'm saying? Or just any type of thing. But I feel like for a new breeder coming in, don't focus on the bloodline right now because it'll take so long. Just focus on creating the best American bully right now. And then by doing that, in the future, you'll be set up to create your own bloodline. So if you focus on the standard or how we've been explaining from the start of the show, you focus on the standard first, creating the American bully bloodline first, and contributing towards that first, you'll realize that your productions along the line is going to match over time to the point where in the time frame of 10 years, you'll have your own bloodline because of the generation you've been producing.
for sure. I definitely agree there.
And you'll also nothing. You're gonna I would say to the younger generation that are starting, at first you're gonna think everything is happy. I mean, awesome. You know what I'm saying? Perfect dog. But then after you start getting more and more into it, you're gonna start doing the same thing and picking apart your dogs. You know what I'm saying? You always got to pick apart your dogs, no matter what. Because I mean, I've had litters, and I'm like, man, that's an awesome looking dog. And then I start, showing and looking more at my dog, and the more I look at it, like you see me with that one dog that I had, that exotic. The longer it went by, I was like, oh no, no, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like what Brad's saying, like the young generation, it's not. You're gonna come into the game. You're gonna be excited. You're gonna want to produce. You're gonna have your first litter, and you're just gonna be in love with the puppies. You're gonna tell your customer these are the best puppies in the world, and all that gonna be bullshit. The more you get ahead, the more you start understanding more. You gonna realize that everything you said at the beginning was bullshit. And everything you did at the beginning was bullshit. But that's why we created this platform, so you can skip past that. You
Yeah.
can understand what selective breeding is. Because if I understood what selective breeding was in the very beginning, then it would have me at a whole different level. Um, all it takes is one breeding to build your name. You have one good ass breeding, and everybody in the world will know your name. But to me, that's not what it's about. To me, it's about creating my vision and producing what I have in mind um, for the American Bully. And I think what I have in mind is a standard. I want to produce as close to the standards I want as I can because that's what I fell in love with. I fell in love with the American Bully. I ain't fell in love with some shit that I've seen in my head. I fell in love with this right here. This right here is what I fell in love with. I fell in love with that inch frame. I fell in love with that chest. I fell in love with that short, compact body. I fell in love with the muscles. I fell in love with that chiseled jaw. I fell in love with that perfect, powerful ass rear. Like that's what I fell in love with. So for me to sit up here and that's like me falling in love with my wife when she's 160 pounds, and then I'll be like, damn, man, you look better at 130. Can you lose weight? Like, you look better when you got makeup on. Can you get up put makeup on your face? Like, you ain't gonna do that. Like, you fell in love with that. Stick to what you fell in love with and remember what you fell in love with. And that's what I fell in love with. I fell in love with the American bully, the correct version. What I see in these pictures, and that's what I'm gonna stick to. I'm gonna stick to. That's all I got on that topic, man. If I got anything else I want to add, we can go on to these 2 words. Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. My first word gonna be accountability. Now I'm gonna let Dante. We're gonna let you start off with that.
We have accountability last time for the 2 words.
I thought we did too.
I
could have swore we did.
We talked about accountability when we talked about our 5 topics that breeders know.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, we talked about it. That wasn't one of our words, but we talked about it. So I feel like that should have been one of our words, and we need to end the video with that, so that'll be the last thing they know and they understand. It was a good opportunity.
All right. Well, accountability is gonna be the same with me every trip, because the position I'm in with game changing, I got people on my team. I don't look at them as subordinates. I don't look at them as employees. I look at them as team members. Everybody put in the same amount of work, and the results is going to be, the output of what the work that we just put in. But if something goes wrong, if anything goes wrong, no matter what it is, I don't give none of my team members to blame. It all falls back on me because I'm the head of game changing. I got the vision started. I'm the one who's pushing out the vision. I'm the one who's marketing the vision. I'm the one who the vision came from. So in the future, if anything goes wrong, I have to be accountable for anything and everything that goes wrong with game changing. And that's a big responsibility. But accountability, once you embrace it, understand what's going on, then that's just what comes with it. You got to have accountability.
Yes, sir. What about you, Brad?
So to me, I'd say us, like Dante with Game Changer, you with Anonymous, and me with Big Head. We got to hold ourselves accountable because in the end, like Dante was saying, we're the ones that had the dream to start this. We're the ones that wanted to do this. So in the end, we all got to hold ourselves accountable, not only for ourselves but for all of our dogs, and where our vision is taking us, that is taking them.
Yes, sir. So to me, when I hear accountability, I think about this community and the responsibility that I put on myself. I want to Brad Lee talking to you, my boy. He said, "Fucking right, Brad." I want to hold myself accountable for the community, like, because to me, if the community is not doing well, there's no way I can do it. If the community has questions from outside people, then they're going to question me as a breeder. I think everything that this community does, everything that falls back on this community, ultimately falls back on us as breeders. So, to me, I think accountability should be hold yourself accountable for selective breeding. Hold yourself accountable for sticking to the standard. Hold yourself accountable for taking care of your dog. Hold yourself accountable for cleaning up after your dog. Hold yourself accountable for being in public and showing people these dogs ain't what they think they are. Don't go out and have a fucking dog that's dog aggressive and put him in a dog park and let him fuck up a dog and think that's not going to come back on the community and on the breed, because that's ultimately what it comes back to. So I think us as breeders and us as bully pet owners need to hold ourselves accountable and understand what we have and take time and socialize your dog in the early stages of life and put him out there around a lot of people so the dog will be friendly with people and just it a better name for the dog and understand that when you have one of these dogs, you have something bigger than just a dog. You have a new breed that can't flourish without your contribution. You have to show the dog in the light at all times and show that this is a human companion, a family dog. Kids can play with this dog. And, there's a lot we can do with them. We got we got shows for these dogs, barbecues, fucking all kinds of pop-up shows and fun shows and all kinds of stuff you can do with these dogs. You can take them into the malls. You can do a lot of things to socialize your dog. You can get them out there and let people know that this breed has changed. It's not what it used to be. It's not the same. And that's all. That's all. We all responsible for that. We all accountable for that. And the dog depend on us to do that. If we don't do that, nobody else is gonna do it for the dog.
I actually wanted to throw in. I got a buddy that has a bully. He's 3 or 4 years old, and just so he is personalized with people, you'll see him if you go down to 6th Street on Saturday nights. He is walking that dog. That's all he does. He doesn't go into any bars. He walks that dog from 6th Street and 35 all the way down and back, and he just keeps going.
What's your buddy name?
Matt.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Marcus.
No.
I know Marcus. He down there on 6th Street with the bullies all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just know some folks too. I've seen some folks too.
So I mean, to me, like, I wouldn't put my dog in that situation, even though it's kind of helpful. I wouldn't put him in that situation because you got a lot of drunk people out there, and it's a lot of shit going on, and you never know. Like, dog, people running up trying to touch a dog, and like, let me sit my dog down first, and then let me introduce you to my dog. Don't just run up to my dog, take my dog.
Yeah.
Whole crowd of people surrounding my dog. Like, I don't really like that. I don't like that feeling. I do like to let my people pet them and socialize it, but I don't like a crowd around my dog. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if it's making me uncomfortable, I can only imagine what it's doing to the dog. So.
That's a good point. I was just gonna say that dogs can smell the alcohol through a human's pores, and for a dog, depending on your dog, it'll change their flight or fight reaction. So just be cautious of that, because if your dog likes to curl and somebody that's been drinking a lot and it smells that alcohol in their pores, you might have them curring a lot. They might start pissing on the street in front of you because they're curring so bad. Or if a dog has a real high tendency of fighting between their fight and flight response, then you could end up with some damage. So just be cautious of that.
Sure, that's the whole thing about groups, man. You can't it's cool. It's definitely is getting the breed out there and getting people to notice it. But I rather people in the right mindset to notice it. I don't want a drunk person that ain't gonna remember tomorrow what the hell going on. I mean I don't condemn the person for it. I just think there's safer ways you can do it, and there's better ways for the dog. Although you might look good on the street with these big ass dogs or this big old head, that dog still got to go through that whole process too. I don't even feel comfortable on that. The next word we're gonna hit is history, and I'll touch on that first because to me, that's the most important part of this breed. Like we touched on last show, I was telling y'all how this breed is discriminated against, and in the very beginning, like UKC didn't accept this breed. They didn't accept the people that had this dog. They didn't want nothing to do with it. And everybody, BSL was attacking this dog, attacking this breed, and trying to basically make everybody spay and neuter their dogs, euthanize dogs. Like they were doing a lot of things against this breed. And I think a lot of people if you breed this dog, if you own this dog, I think you owe it to yourself and to the breed to go back and learn where it came from, learn the history. Just like us as people, we should know the history, know where it come from. And I think that's super important. Which is why I put it at the topic. I think it's super important that we understand the history of this dog, understand the history of this breed and where it comes from, and not just what you hear. People get on this. You'll argue with people in the comment section about, oh, this dog has has bulldog in it. This dog has that. But they have never watched a video on the history of this breed. They have never read a book on the history of this breed. They have never went back and looked at the magazines on the history of this breed. You ain't did none of that, but you know so much about it. So I'll get into arguing with people about this dog no more because my mindset for the dog has completely changed. I actually study the breed now for people to tell me something that I know is not true. So I think it's real important. I think we all owe it to the dog to understand where it comes from, how it was created, why it was created, who created it. You owe those breeders that much to at least know their name, at least know who they are, um, at least know. A lot of people can't even tell you who Dave Wilson is, and he's the reason all this shit is going on. He's the reason you can make $10,000 off a dog. Like so, and he's not the only reason. There's a lot of names that go into that, but like if you look into it, he's the founder. He's the creator. He's the founder of ABKC. He started the ABKC. So there's a lot of things that people don't understand and don't know and don't care to know. All they care about is that dollar. And if you want to last long in this, do your due diligence and go study and understand what it's all about. How it's created.
Well, go ahead, Brett.
No, go ahead, bro.
I was just gonna say, when I hear history, not to really mimic what Mike was saying, but more of uh, we are a part of the bully history right now. Like how Mike was saying, a lot of people don't know who Dave Wilson is, but either way, it wasn't 50 years ago when he created this. It wasn't 100 years ago. So right now, if you're a new bully breeder coming into this, you hold a major part of history. Uh, and we're kind of like pioneers. So that's why we should do it right, because moving forward, when they do look back 80 years from now, they're gonna be looking at people like us who was doing the breedings and putting this stuff together, doing the selective breedings, figuring out what's gonna make this breed better. Because this breed history is so short. It's only been around for so many years. So I feel like myself as a pioneer as in the breed's history, along with my fellow breeders that's doing it the correct way. So that's what I think when I hear history.
You got anything you want to add on
Can
that,
y'all hear
Brad?
me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me? Okay. When I think of history, I think of three things actually. I think of research, time, and patience. The way I see it, you gotta take the time and learn patience to learn and do your to learn to do your research so you can know what the history of the bully is. Sorry, I dropped my phone. So in my eyes, yeah, you when you're coming into this, I think you need to know patience. You gotta have time and you gotta do your research so you know what you're getting into before you sign on.
We got a comment. He said his dog. He's trying to fix the dog aggression and better the size and them. And he don't care about. He personally don't care about color at the moment. Um, all I'm gonna say to that is the dog aggression is gonna be. There's a lot of things you can do to fix that. To me, it's gonna take part early in their life. Socialize them, put them around new dogs, not just their litter mates. If you do have a litter mate that stays with them forever, you gotta understand that you gotta break that bond as soon as possible because they can build a bond to where they only care about each other. They don't care about other stuff that's going on. So, and there's actually a term for it. I'm not gonna sit up there and try to think of it real quick because I'll be sitting there for 5 minutes not thinking about it. But it's something puppy syndrome, some shit, like litter syndrome, something. It's an actual term for it to where if they're litter mates, they'll have a bond stronger than anything you can create with them. So to me, socialize them early. Um, introduce them to new dogs, introduce them to people. And then the size thing, that's gonna be more so the selective breeding and picking the right breedings for your dog. If your dog black and mass, or your dog heavy and mass, but still clean and correct. Uh, and pay what it costs to get that. Understand that there's no cheap to it. If a person has a clean, correct dog with a whole bunch of knives and they want 5,000 for the stuffy, then that dog is worth 5,000 for the stuff. But also, if you have a dog that's 10,000 for the 7,000 for the stuffy, and the dog is throwing Murrow and it is heavy in mass, but if you look back in the bed, there's no mass in the bed at all. It's just it was an inbred dog that turned out. So to me, it's more so you're gonna be have to do real selective breeding. You have to research what you want to breed to, and that's how you're gonna produce heavier dogs, bigger dogs. And you said better design. I mean, their size and everything. You want a bigger neck, you want a bigger head, you want a bigger rear. You gotta really go into depth on what you're looking for in your program. But I'm just gonna touch on that real quick. I ain't even gonna make y'all touch on that real quick unless y'all want to. If not, we
I
can.
was gonna say, you should be looking into all three. When you look into your dog, I see it says I'm personally don't care about color, but sometimes, like with certain blue dogs, they might be a little bit more docile. Certain red dogs, they might have a little bit more drive. Some tri dogs might not have either. So it's just something to think about. When, of course, like I say, because then in certain blue dogs, they might not be able to catch the size, or certain blue dogs are bigger than a lot of red dogs. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you got to look at everything within that because certain dogs create certain colors within those pairs that you're not going to get with aggression, or it's just a lot of things to look at. That's everything that we talked about in this video, basically. So
That's the history part of what we're talking about in this video. You got to go back and learn the history. Dante made a great point there that's gonna make us go over if I go all the way into it, but I'm gonna touch on it real quick. Um, he said the gray dog, the blue dogs, the red dogs. You gotta understand when you breed into a red dog, if you go back in that pit and you understand where it really came from, if it's a red dog in that line, more than likely that dog was a fighter in the beginning. There was no gray blue dogs that were fighting in the very beginning. It was all red dogs, all black dogs. Yeah, no blue dogs. The blue dogs were the staffies. Those were the show dogs. Those was what UKC registered. So you weren't gonna see those in the fighting ring. So those do tend to have a milder temperament and not that dog aggression um, shit that you're gonna deal with from a red line. More of the red dogs, the old family red noses and shit like that. So that's more so history, bro. You go learn that history, take that time and put that work in. That's considered the work. Learn that history. That's the work. That's what you're doing. You creating history, but you got to learn where the history came from before you can start adding on to it. Um, and I'm gonna add this back on here because that's what this comment or this quote from Dante was about. And he said, "Don't ever let your mind set you idle, because if you sit here and you think you know it all, and you think you got all the answers, and your mindset is idle. You're not willing to grow. You're not willing to go to the next level. So, um, I should keep that in mind and keep living by that quote. We're gonna go ahead and get into our dog of the day and let Dante speak on this dog. This is Dante's dog of the day, and to me, this is a fire ass dog. Let me take his banner
yes,
off.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Um,
Tell me about him, where he come from, who owned him.
okay, I had a question before I do all that. Are you able to do videos in these in the live too?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I wish I would I wish I would have seen the video. But to give y'all a explanation of why I asked that, a video of this dog moving, what this dog can do, will show you even more why I like this dog. Yes, this dog looks great. This is Bruno. He's chumped out at a couple of shows. From he's owned by a guy named Eric Holmes. Eric Holmes is the founder of Metro Brick Bullies. He's out of Columbia, South Carolina. And how I ran into this dog is literally one day I seen a dog jumping in the lake, and it like he had a freaking propeller on his back. The way he was moving through the lake, like he was just getting through the lake with no problem, fetching the ball. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy how it was moving. And then when he got out the water, it's like no way that dog can have that physique moving through that water. You know what I'm saying? And there's another dog that was with him, which is his production. So seeing that video just amazed me to the point I had to find out more. And then that's when I reached out to find out, what's going on with the dog, and he gave me some more information. And he's like how he told me, he like creating like 4x4s in the dog, a dog that can be on any terrain, a dog that can be in the show, a dog that can leave a show, hop in the water, and be able to do the same thing and bring the same type of drive. So shout out to Ed Holmes at Metro Brick Bullies. He's been producing some great things out of his camp. I definitely plan on bringing some of Bruno's blood to my camp uh, later down the line for what I've seen that his production and himself can do. But yeah, look him up on Facebook.
Is
I
Bruno,
believe he has an
is Bruno a ghost try?
no, I
Seem like,
think he'll try. I think his try marking show.
yeah, I was about to say it kind of looked like they show him, but it looked like they kind of probably hit by that eyeball.
That's right.
He
Exactly.
definitely good, man. I love everything I see. I like his front. You can tell his front leg is leaning in, but you can tell from that other leg that he has a perfect A-spring. I love that elbow to chest ratio. I love how that chest is digging up under. I like how it's got a little hang up there. I love that. The muscle mass on him. You can see the muscle mass.
Fact.
That head is crazy, man. He's like a big ass head. These pictures never do. So
Facts.
I'm definitely impressed when I see this. Definitely a good ass dog of the day. We doing good with that so far. If y'all do, like I said, you can add video. So if you ever do find a video of a dog that you want to just throw on here and be like that's just perfect, let's do it. We can do it. But that's a fire ass dog of the day, man. I definitely like that.
I'm gonna definitely
For
send y'all the
sure.
video so y'all can see yourselves too. But most definitely a fire ass dog.
So what we'll do is we'll add them in. We'll add them into the video next week. And just throw a video clip in up. So, and then we'll let Brad add his dog of the week. So Brad, you got the
I
task.
already got one picked out.
All right, all right. Don't come here on no bullshit. We done had two fire back to back. Don't come here on no bullshit.
Oh no, y'all gonna like this guy. Y'all gonna like this guy.
Okay. All right, man. Well, I appreciate y'all. It was a good show, man. It's always good.
For sure. I wanted to throw one more thing in with the whole dog aggression that she was asking. I was gonna say, go ahead and just ship your dogs over to Game Changing Kennels.
And then take
Game
care of
That's
Changing
right.
Dogs over there because that guy he could get it gone for you.
Yes, sir.
Facts.
No, that's
Facts.
for me. Booby is a young breeder out here in Ohio. He actually in the city where I came from, and he got a female. We was gonna do a breeding. This female is aggressive, so we couldn't naturally do the AI. We had to, or we couldn't actually let him do natural tie. We had to do an AI. So I told him that was something he need to work on with her and find out if it's gonna pop back up in the puppy, the future generation. So I think he working on that, just trying to figure it out now. He just had his first litter, so yeah, he does have a lot of questions. I'm glad he tuned into the live and asked his questions and got his answer.
Most definitely.
And I appreciate y'all.
Hey, thanks. I want to say thanks to everybody that's tuned in so far. I appreciate it, and I'm sure you guys do too.
We definitely appreciate y'all tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, on all the platforms that we're streaming on right now. If y'all can go on the YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and that way you can chat on there if you want to, or you can always go back and touch up and watch some stuff, or rewatch and get the answer that you need later, later in your program or whenever you move forward with your breeding process. But we appreciate everybody for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. I always like this conversation is always a good part of my day. So I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Y'all have a good weekend, man. Stay safe.
You too.
Yeah, y'all boys be safe, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all.
All right, appreciate it, y'all.
All right, later, y'all.